So there are some current changes to Airbnb that might be affecting us all. I've noticed it in some of the groups I'm in. I'm also noticed it with some of my mentees personally, whereby we are doing the same thing that we've always done to implement, to set up, to systemize, to automate, but yet the same result isn't the same. Unfortunately, that is just based on the algorithm to a certain extent. We don't know what we're doing when it comes to the algorithm. Although we do know what we're doing, experience shows you what you've been doing is correct. When the algorithm changes, and it has done, it does on at least 2 occasions every year, summer and an autumn, that will change a lot of how your listing performs, how your occupancy rate fluctuates, how your capacity will determine your profitability throughout the whole process. What we've noticed in our evidence, we aren't on everything that we should be. We aren't always on instant book for some of our properties, primarily because we want to vet who goes there, because it could be a high population area for partying guests. So we want to take advantage of that as much as possible to carry out all the due diligence that's necessary to allow us to avoid those things. But the one thing that we would say that you do need to do, although you don't need to do it on all of this, on all your listings now, is you don't have to complete your listing to a high degree anymore to satisfy the algorithm to say that you are a good host. Whereas you used to have to fill in every part of about the property, you perform in a good way. That now we have to, in terms of what we have to fill in, is far less, and you get the same reward. If you have been offering services for a long time, now affiliate yourself with other independent businesses around your location and associate yourself with other independent businesses. That does nothing more than benefit your business, because now services have been released in the summer release. Airbnb are going to do exactly the same thing for your business, where you get no money. So if Joe Blogs has a business that operates in Birmingham, for instance, and he knows a bakery that can deliver all of those things that you would want for breakfast, brunch, pastries, croissants, all of those things, if you can associate with them to bring them more business and you get a kickback from that, that can only benefit your business. On the reflection, if Airbnb do the same thing for you, your Joe Blogs business, thank you for booking, you've just booked with us. Would you like any of these services, A, B, C, and D? If Airbnb books them for you, they keep all the profit. Who's losing out? Guests aren't losing out, but hosts are. So do everything you can to make sure you're offering the services that are appropriate to your business, and that can be anything. It doesn't have to be just specifically area. You give bikes, you give all of those things. It has to be associated with your business that you have some affinity to. So if you could fit a massage chair, if you can fit a massage table into your business, into your property without it being cramped, why not associate yourself with a massage therapist that can come in and do, not free, but can do treatments, massage treatments on an hourly, half day, full day basis, and then you get a kickback from that. Course a massage therapist is going to want to do that, but the only difference would be, do you know anybody good enough to be able to perform the duties they need to at the level that your property is conveying as a business? If it's yes, then associate with them, have that conversation, do what you need to do, strike a deal with them. And then for the future, you can do more and more and more. My view is don't leave any stone unturned when it comes to associations, partnerships, anything that you can offer. It always ties into the short-term rental and furnished holiday let side of things on the taxation things. The more services you offer, the better it is. Shuttles, taxi services, all of those things. If you can offer them to your client base, late checkouts, early check-ins, all of these things, 30 to 40 to 50 pounds more on your back end for very little, if any, more effort. So very little, if any, more effort. And that just means that you can do things exactly the same way as you've been doing before, have some automated messages that will prompt your guest to want to book these things with you. And if you have it curated in a way that makes you become the expert in the field for those things, then why not? Other things. Because of the world today, if you've got a group of people coming to your area, they could go for excursions, go for brunches, they could do club night events where you can get tickets for, all of these things. So you don't just have to associate yourself for a tier in a demographic. You could just cross the board offer everything you can specifically offer in your area and keep on doing that. You'll benefit grandly from that. The benefit, if you're doing 10 to 20 to 40 pounds more revenue just on the same booking in a month, that could be the difference between £600 and £1,200. Imagine if you can add £600 to £1,200 onto your business without doing much else, but having the same conversation with the same customer that's in the property for the same amount of time, and you just say, "Hi, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, we have this X service. Would you like to add this to your stay?" It's a yes or no answer. If they do, fantastic. You have to then systemize and automate in a way that's professional, and it makes you, it's as much heavy lifting on the front end as it is on the back end. So try as best as you can to make this as easy for you to implement into your business. It becomes less of a task and more easy to manage. You'll be more likely to keep it going. Because the more difficult it is, the more difficult it becomes, the less likely you are to want to do it over and over and over again. And in terms of the experiences side of Airbnb, experiences are going to be very much tours, excursions, all of those things. What do you know in the area that you can do? It could be life painting. It could be DJ training set. It could be track and field. It could be people that want to get better at something they do as a hobby, and you could offer it at your location, year in, year out, or seasonally, depending on what you want to do, and there'd be no problem for you to do that and then charge an extra value. If you're setting the whole thing up from start to finish, then that just makes it more your control in terms of what you can charge. If you're literally taking the name and then sending it to a person that then phones and does more work, then you're not going to have as much of a bite of a cherry as you would if it was you controlling the whole process, booking, timing, pricing, all of that stuff. So get good at having the right conversations with the right client base, and then see what you can move into. As I said, it can only help you, as I said before. So get out there, good hunting, and do what you can. So I've said this before, and I'll say it again. We're not sponsored by anybody just yet. The hope is that the channel grows to a point where we do get sponsored. But in the meantime, whilst we're not, we're sponsored by my company. And my company is Be More Homely. We are an accommodation provider in the West Midlands, Manchester, South East. And we have properties that can accommodate everything from 2 to 11 guests should you need it. All of our accommodation comes with parking. So why not come to us for any inquiries that you have, whether it is leisure, trade stays, relocations for insurance purposes. Please get in touch. We are your one-stop shop for anything that can be deemed as accommodation requirements. We look forward to hosting you soon. Thank you from Be More Home. If you liked any of the information presented series, please drop a like. If you have any questions, drop a comment. My contact details are in description below, so should you want an off-platform chat, we're always happy to have a discussion with that, whether it be a newbie, a would-be investor that's looking to exceed expectations better than buy-to-let or HMO. We're happy to talk to you all the time. So for now, this is Mikey and this is your B&B. Take care.